Guys, I was on Reddit. Great way to start a video, I know, but hear me out. See, I ran out of ideas, and I just had the wildest thought ever, right? Reddit stories get millions of views, and then it clicked. I could do that. So today I'm gonna be reading you a story that I found on Reddit, but I'm gonna reinvent the wheel here. See, instead of just being like, 24 male, I'm actually gonna be retelling the story as if it happened to me. Greatest video idea ever, I know. But yeah, so make sure to hit that like button, click subscribe, tell your friends. Yeah, so I'm confused, right? But before I tell you why I'm confused, here's a little background information. So one day I got a quick ad on Snapchat. Now I don't use Snapchat, but just imagine that I do, and that I got a quick ad on Snapchat by a guy we will call T. Now I thought his name sounded kind of familiar because he lives close to some distant relatives, right? Who I don't know because they're distant. So complete stranger, but I still kept him added because I do not care about online safety whatsoever. Anyways, we became friends, and then friends with benefits. Somehow. This is a complete stranger, mind you. Anyways, I started hanging out with his gamer friends, and we would play all day on an OFF. I can't read that says on and off. Okay, so dyslexia aside, something weird started happening with him like a month in. You know, he would just be asking me questions like, can we move in together? Or can we be something more? I didn't see this coming at all. You know, considering that I'm getting down and dirty with who is messaging me? Considering that I'm getting down and dirty with this guy, I don't know. I just couldn't foresee this happening, like, at all. So eventually we had a conversation, but it was more so just me telling him that he just lives a few hours away. We wanted different things in life. There was no point of us being more than what we were now. Hot diggity dog. Guys, you guys should be following my example right here, bro. Like I'm just peak role model material, like, actually. So he agreed, and everything was fine for a few days. But out of nowhere, he ghosted me and his gaming friends. I can't believe he would ghost me after I turned him down. So then a whole month goes past, and you know, he just has no contact with his gaming friends and I. You know, I couldn't be bothered to come up with like fake names, so I'm just calling them by letters now, I guess. B, Q, and J. And we start to hang out with each other more. You know, spent a lot of time with B, since he had 2-player games we liked, and we had a lot more in common. I don't see anything going wrong with this in the foreseeable future. Not at all. So a few weeks go by and still no contact from T. But then one day, Q just starts being distant and starts to lash out towards me and B. Like, for no reason. Now apparently, T had texted Q this elaborate story about how T and I were in a talking stage, and how he was too busy at work to talk to all of us, and B had broken bro code cause, you know, B was flirting and hanging out with me, which I could not have seen this coming. Not at all. Time skip. Now it's July, and B and I started dating because I am an idiot. I am an actual idiot. But B still hangs out with Q and J, but like isn't talking to T. I don't hang out with any of them anymore because, you know, why would I? Just, you know, add this guy who added me on Snapchat, start sleeping with him, get involved with his friends, and then, you know, just things get messy, so I'm just gonna run away. So a week in of B and I dating, he asks me, Q and J, to talk, you know, so we could all be friends again. Now I agreed for some reason because I was tired of the constant fighting going on. He would also talk to T so they could, you know, hash everything out. Now I found that really weird because before the friendship ended, T had just said every word under the sun to B. But you guys know me, nonchalant, non-caring. I just shrugged it off like, you know, his life, his friends. 4 of them made up, started to play and hang out like before, and everything was fine. Until Sunday, when I went to a car track to support one of my cousins who was racing. I had a few or too many drinks because of course I'm drinking, and I had to come back to my grandma's house to call him about this really hot sounded truck. I don't know what that means. So the next day, we were on a call and he was a little off. He was being quiet and he seemed really mad about something. Every time I asked him what was wrong, he would just brush me off, telling me he was fine. So I thought nothing of it because I'm just such a great person. I have no clue why this person could be acting like this, considering the kind of relationship we have and the things we've done. Also, a little break from the story, I just realized that apparently I am a woman. I knew this because, again, I am the one who wrote the story, totally, because, you know, this is a real life experience that happened to me. So, I can change genders at will, guys. That's my secret superpower. Don't tell anyone. So, getting back to the story. We made plans, right? Later that day, we made plans for us to just play a game, spend some quality time. And his exact words to me were, I have some housework to do, then after that, I'm all yours. So, at 3 a.m. in the morning, I woke up to him screaming and laughing with his friends. So, obviously I was annoyed. I snapped at him to go back to bed, because, you know, he was being loud. Which, I know I shouldn't have done, but again, he was being loud. My lips are dry as hell. So, Monday, the day that we were supposed to hang out, he just doesn't respond to any texts or calls. And like 7 p.m, he invited me to a group call with his friends Q, J, and T. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I thought we were talking about T the whole time, but apparently we were talking about B. So anyways, instead of me and him having a reasonable conversation, he had his friends gang up on me with questions about me snapping at him and this supposed truck. You know, and that night, when I was talking about it, they thought I was talking about the truck driver and asked if I had cheated on B. Which, to be honest, is a fair assumption. I don't think anybody, especially not a girl who's drunk, is gonna call someone their assumed boyfriend, or alleged in this case, and say, man, I just saw the hottest truck. Like, you're not gonna use the word hot to describe a truck. Like, let's be so real. So, I can kind of see where they're coming from, but at the same time, like, everybody in this story is just dumb. So, you know, I didn't cheat on B because I'm not that type of person. Now I'm just gonna say stop the cap right there because, come on, bro. Nigga, you slept with this dude and then went on to, like, date his friend after y'all fell through. What do you mean you're not that type of person? Do not lie to yourself, dog. Also, it's okay, guys. I'm black. I have the pass. I can say that word. But anyways, so after being interrogated by B in front of everyone, you know, B just decides we're breaking up and says that we can be friends if I want to. You know, like, why would he do this to me? I don't understand. Why would B ever do something like this to such a good person? The lovely individual that I am. Doesn't he know how much he's breaking my fragile female heart when he does this? And yeah, so that's the end of the story. I wish it had some kind of resolution, but it kind of just ended like that for some reason. All in all, looking back at this, I will say everyone is kind of dumb in this story, especially the main character, because I'm sorry, like, how, why, what, like, why would you put yourself in this kind of situation to begin with? But yeah, I had to painstakingly read that and try and grammar correct it because the person, which isn't really surprising, but they didn't really know how to spell or use proper grammar for that matter. So, you know, that's to be expected from someone who's doing this kind of shit. But anyways, I feel like the person who posted this is an actual human being because this seems like a very human scenario. And I can almost guarantee you that they are white as well. That is not meant to be racist, I swear. Alright, so that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you want to see more content like this, just, you know, comment down below. And yeah, I hope this is not the first video you see from me. That would absolutely suck.